Hey guys, welcome back to Karting with Chris. Today is going to be a little bit of different video. We're going to be heading to Dallas Karting Complex to do the 2-hour endurance race. It's currently about 5:45 in the morning. I have to be there around 7:30. It takes about an hour and a half to get there, so yeah, this is going to be an early race, but we're just going to power through. Now throughout this race, I'm going to be vlogging the ins and outs on and off track, so if you like these types of videos, let me know. I'll do more. But yeah, let's get started. First things first, we gotta go get some water because although it's a morning race, it's still gonna be hot as balls out there. And if you don't believe me, it's 5 in the morning. There's the sunrise over there. Might be kind of hard to see, but yeah, this is an early one. All right, I just finished getting some waters and snacks and stuff. Welch's. If you ever see me walking around track eating something, chances are it's some Welch's fruit snacks. So, you know, snack of champions. So I don't know if I've said this, but the drivers meeting starts at 8:30. That's mandatory, and we'll want to, you know, go to that because they'll explain all the rules and all that stuff. And then I think the doors open at 7:30, so that's why we're getting an early start here. I want to get there around 7:30. We've got some things to set up. You know, it is rental racing, but you know, there are things to set up. We have to go through the strategy, and I've got a teammate. You know, I'm not doing this by myself, so I'm gonna meet my teammate there, and we're gonna go from there. All right, we're here at DKC. It's about 7:45 right now. I've got the sunglasses on now because the sun has risen. The traffic was pretty light. There was basically no one on the road because it's early in the morning. I am running off of fumes right now. I only got about 4 hours of sleep last night. I stayed up pretty late, which was a big mistake, but as the day goes on, my body will wake up, the adrenaline will get going. I think we'll be fine. My teammate's not here right now, so I'll wait for him, and yeah, let's just chill now. All right, we're here under a tent, and we're about to get ready for this race, and I'm here with my teammate, Mr. Illegal Alien. How are we feeling today?
We're feeling hopeful, we're feeling good. We've talked, you've been specifically recruited by myself, so yeah, we're gonna win.
So it's just gonna be the two of us for 2 hours. You're gonna do how much of the race?
Probably about 20% of the race, and we're gonna let Karting with Chris on YouTube take the rest of it, because Karting with Chris is probably, well, he is faster than me on track, so this is basically how far can you get down the track in 2 hours, and he can get further along than I can. But I am a better racer.
All right, well, I've never actually been on track with this guy before during a race, so we're gonna see. This is the first time we're gonna be in a race together, so, but we're on the same team. So yeah.
And you were again recruited.
Yeah.
5-star recruit.
Yeah, he came up to me literally the day of and said, "You're on my team." It was more of a demand.
Yeah, there's no choices. If you give people a choice, they can waffle on you, so I just said this is what you're gonna do, and we're doing it. So we're looking forward to having a good day.
All right, let's get to it. They're in the process of lining up the fleet. It's a bit weird. They've got the carts facing the wrong way, in my opinion. I think the cart should be on the other side of the track, but whatever. And yeah, they're fueling them up. So they're actually, if you didn't already know this, they're using the old rental carts. So they kept onto them. You can see the steering wheel's different. These are the newer ones. Steering wheel's a little different. I've never actually driven these carts. So I've only ever driven these ones. So this will be a new experience for me. I don't think they're gonna be that big of a difference, but you never know. Behind the scenes, illegal alien stuff. Look at this camera he's got. So high tech. I'm just on my iPhone. And then this is our pit board. So this is what we're gonna use if our radios stop working. Obviously we don't plan on that, but we have a Senna here. This is not mine, it's Oscar's. He's fitted it to my helmet. I'll be running the GoPro 11, Hero 11 Mini. And yeah, so we're gonna be talking to each other through here. And if that works, we'll stick to this. Ow. Oscar.
What's up?
So they've already told us where we're starting.
Oh, yes.
What place are we starting?
Last. 25th out of 25.
25 out of 25.
Yep.
So for the pits, we have 2 stop boxes. And so this is the beginning of the pits. We got this stop box lined with orange buckets. So you stop here, come to a dead stop, and then you head over here, and usually your teammate or whatever you're doing, if you're doing a driver change, you head over here, park the cart, get out, swap drivers. If you're not swapping drivers, then you can just get out and get back in. Oh shit, this guy speeding through the pits. So I think speeding through the pits is going to be a penalty as well, so we got to make sure not to do that. And at the very end of the pits, we have this second stop box. And then once you hit this second stop box, you have to come to a complete stop again, and then you head back out on track. So afterwards, we headed over to the drivers meeting. And you can see there's a lot of people here today. There are 25 teams. Each team has about 2 to 4 drivers on each team, so a lot of people here today. Here's an example of the pit stop. So you stop in the stop box, and then once you come to a complete stop, you continue forward into the pits. If you're swapping drivers, you hop out of the cart, swap drivers. If you're not swapping drivers, you hop out of the cart, and then you get back in. Once you're back in the cart, you put on your seatbelt. Seatbelt needs to be on before you get into the stop box up ahead. Once in the stop box, come to a complete stop, look both ways, and if it's safe to go out on track, proceed on track. All right, so this is our cart, and actually, we were supposed to have one of the old style carts. As you can see by the steering wheel, we've got a newer one, so I don't know if this has been refurbished or not, but yeah, kind of confusing. All right, so here's how the pit stop's gonna go. All right, go Oscar, go! And away he goes. All right, so you join me post-race. The reason I'm filming this is because the start of this race was so chaotic that I didn't get a chance to vlog or film anything until I got into the cart. So one of the main reasons was the communication. So like I showed earlier, we had comms on our helmets. We only had 2 comms, 2 Sennas, and they were both attached to our helmets. So if you ever wanted to talk to anyone, you had to put on your helmet and talk to them. So I didn't want to do some vlogging while I had my helmet on because you wouldn't be able to hear me. So that's one reason. The second reason is that the start did not really go to plan. You'll see that later on. But I also forgot to say what the strategy of the race was. So since we're starting dead last, 25 out of 25, the strategy was to pit on the first lap. Basically just get out of traffic as soon as possible and kind of just put ourselves in open space and just churn out the laps. Oscar, starting the race, very fast driver. In the heavies class, he's one of the faster drivers. And so we knew that if we can get him in open space, he could churn out some pretty good lap times, and we can just gain positions like that. So it's basically like one massive undercut. As everyone's going into the pits throughout the race, we will have already pitted, and since we were in open space, we would just pass everyone. So that was the plan going into this race. Oscar's starting the race, getting some stretching in.
Oh yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Le Mans style start. They're starting the carts down there. I'm gonna try and see if I can video this at the same time. So unfortunately, I could not film the start of the race, at least from my perspective. You see the worker here starting up the cart, but none of the carts really wanted to idle at the start here. So you can see a lot of people up ahead having to keep their cart going, and we had to do the same. So I had to cut the cameras here and get on the throttle. So you can see me holding the throttle open for Oscar here. Oscar runs into the cart, puts his seatbelt on. I'm still holding the throttle, making sure it doesn't die on him, and away he goes. So it was a decent start for Oscar. You can see he wasn't the worst starting cart. This guy taking his time, but eventually he got going. So this is going to be Oscar's perspective of the race here. Lightning fast reactions, hops into the cart, like I said, fiddles with the seatbelt a little. We're a safety first team, so got his seatbelt on first thing. Passes a couple people right off the gate here. It looks like the guy in first might have stalled the cart there. But throughout the opening lap here, you're going to see people fiddling with their seatbelt. So the rule was you had to get your seatbelt on by the end of the opening lap. And so Oscar decided to get his seatbelt out of the way first thing first. And you're going to see people kind of messing with their seatbelt. That's really going to slow them down. So Oscar and I have communications here, and this is Oscar's perspective. And he was actually able to record the audio being said. So I'm going to stop talking and let you listen it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Car feels pretty good so far. Let me know on the pits.
Top 3 are going to the left. Turn 3 right now. I'm going to be at the front of the pit.
Yeah.
Watch out, there's some
Yeah.
cards.
We just caught him.
See, you're doing good.
Oh, the cart almost died. Be careful hitting too much brake.
Yeah, we might have to restart it. Pit, so make sure you're quick.
Tommy, come on.
Okay, there's no one in the pits. No one in the pits.
I'm staying out.
Staying out.
Yeah.
Hit next lap.
What do you think, man? Where are the leaders at? Okay, the leaders are up there.
Leaders are 3 are really far ahead. Only one is coming to the pits. You're halfway through. If you
Okay, I'm gonna come in.
all right, yeah, you'll be in open space.
So Oscar here getting one of the best race starts I've ever seen, gaining about, I think, 14, maybe 15 positions right out of the gate on lap 1, so really good race start. But you can see he's starting to battle with someone right here, and this is what we didn't want to happen. So Oscar deciding to pit on lap 2 instead of lap 1. It didn't really matter too much. We were still sticking with the strategy right here. You know, pitting a lap later wasn't a big deal, but going through the chicane here, track is very slippery. Oscar going a little wide at the apex, and the guy behind him absolutely murdering him. Exit of the apex here. Oscar not too happy, but I think he had a fellow teammate beside him absolutely wiping out the guy who took him out, so I guess it works out in the end here. And the guy who wiped Oscar out apologizes. Oscar forgives him. So Oscar's going to come into the pits at the end of this lap right here. And our kart, again, really did not want to idle. It wanted to stall whenever possible. So going into the pits here, Oscar doesn't know this yet. And so he's going to go into the stop box here, and the kart is going to stall. Now, initially, we thought the kart was stalling because the engine was cold. They didn't warm up these engines before the race, so we were thinking maybe once the engine warms up further in the race, it'll stop stalling. So we're in the middle of the pit stop here. Textbook pit stop, except for the kart keeps stalling here. But the reason the kart was stalling so much, and we didn't know this at the time, else we would have done something, was because it was just a bad kart. So later on in the race, Oscar, was struggling with the kart so much that he wanted to swap the kart for a new kart. Now, they told us in the driver's meeting that if we swap karts, it's a 4-minute time penalty. But since this is a reliability issue and not a speed issue, we were able to get away without a time penalty. So on this lap, this is Oscar and I communicating to each other how we're going to do the kart swap.
I'll take the transponder off. Tell him that. Yeah, dude, we need another kart. This kart's dead.
Yeah, he wants to swap.
This kart's dead. Now it's dead. Hold on. Yeah, we need to swap karts ASAP.
Yeah, he said it just almost died going down there.
It's dead.
Kart's you're in?
It's dead.
What's that?
The kart's dead now.
We're in kart 28. Yeah, see, our kart just died.
It's dead.
All right, we're gonna swap. All
right, I'm gonna take the transponder off. Yeah.
28. All right, they're bringing out kart 19 for you.
I'll drive it back. They're bringing out 19 now? Hold on. They're bringing it out now?
Yeah, he's already on track.
Okay. They're bringing a kart out.
Wow.
I'm gonna take the... Okay, I'm gonna switch the transponders.
Okay.
Something's wrong with this one. Tell them we want another cart.
Really?
Yeah, it's like it's not accelerating. Like the choke's on or something. Yeah, we need another cart, dude.
I think let's do that.
Dude, it's gonna die. Hey! It's dead now. Check the choke on this. I think it's dead.
Yeah.
Is the choke off?
So after swapping from Kart 28 to Kart 19, it turns out that I think the choke was stuck open, so I think the engine might have gotten flooded. So we had to do yet another kart swap, all within a couple laps. So now we're in kart number 11.
We're fucked.
You still want to swap, or did you get it sorted?
I got another cart.
They gave you another cart?
Yeah, now we're in kart 11.
So after that nightmare of a start, I eventually hop into the kart. Oscar did, I think, an additional 10, maybe 15 more laps after he swapped into kart number 11. So about 30, maybe 45 minutes have elapsed in this race so far. And so I was going to do the rest of the race. So the strategy, like I said at the beginning, was to pit Oscar at the very beginning, get into open track, basically do one giant undercut, and then he would drive for about a third of the race, and then we would swap for me, and then I would finish out the race. Now, for those of you thinking, I'm trying to do more laps than Oscar, and it's not fair, this was Oscar's idea. So if you think it's unfair that I'm doing more laps than him, you can talk to him. Now, the reason we're doing it like this is because I'm a little bit faster than Oscar. I run the lights class, he runs in the heavies class, so I am a little bit lighter than him, and since you can't really change physics, I'm naturally going to be a little bit faster than him. So you probably have noticed by now, but I don't have a position counter or a lap counter for this race. And that's because they didn't really keep a log of the race. It wasn't on Race Hero or Race Monitor or anything like that. So I really don't know what position I'm in, and I don't know what lap I'm in. But I'm pretty sure Oscar told me that I was in 23rd as soon as I got out on track. So we're in 23rd. Let's just say we're in 23rd. We're still ahead of two other people. There were other people who had to swap karts like us. I think we might have been the only people who had to swap karts twice. I could be wrong. But we also had to swap karts on track, so we never got into the pits to swap karts. So we had to wait for them to come to us. But fortunately, they didn't give us any time penalties for swapping karts because it was a reliability issue and not a speed issue. So I was definitely not the fastest person on track, and so if anyone ever caught up to me and wanted to pass me, I would kind of just let them by. So going through this left-hander right here, Kart 51 pokes his nose through, and so I just let him by. Don't even put up a fight, and this is kind of the mindset you need to get into whenever endurance racing. You don't need to be fighting people, you just need to let people who are faster in front of you. Because you can also learn a thing or two from people who are faster. You can figure out how they're taking different corners and improve on yourself. But if you're going to fight them the entire race, it's going to slow you down, it's going to slow them down, and I guarantee you, you're not going to finish very well in that race. So another tidbit for endurance racing is you need to make smart passes rather than instant passes. So what I mean is I could easily send it on kart number 31 through this left-hander right now, but that wouldn't be a smart pass. You can see on the exit of this left-hander, he doesn't get the best exit, and so I'm going to pass him going into the chicane, and I clear him before we even go into the chicane. So that was a good example of a smart pass rather than an instant pass. So you just got to really read the track, read other people. You can see people going really hot through a corner, and that's definitely going to compromise their exit. So here's going to be a textbook example of patience is key. So going through this left-hander right here, we see kart number 42 in the yellow helmet, not getting the best of exits, and I thought about sending it into this right-hander right here, but I changed my mind last minute, and it worked out because he just ends up wiping himself out, and so I didn't really have to do anything to try and pass him. He just took himself out. So like I said, you really just have to be patient with some of these passes sometimes. But
Another thing I noticed is that corner exit is a huge deal around here. So especially through the chicane right here, you're going to watch kart number 50. He goes in a little too hot through the chicane right here. You can see just how much speed I can carry on the corner exit. I easily sail by him going down the straight here. So another thing I noticed is that corner exit is key. A lot of people going too hot through a corner. You can see right there, I went too hot through the corner, actually out braking myself, but getting enough drive out of the exit to pass number 50 back. So like I said earlier, we were definitely not the fastest people on track, and currently behind me, as we're going through this right-hander followed by the long left-hander, I think the race leaders are behind me. I don't know if they were in the lead at this point in the race, but these guys in kart number 26, they ended up winning the race. So sorry if it's a bit of a spoiler alert. We did not end up winning this race. I think whenever you swap karts, not once but twice, probably guarantees you you're not going to win the race. Now, I don't know if these guys swapped their karts or not. I have no idea. But congratulations to these guys. They were pretty quick. They were pretty rapid. So I'm going to try and follow kart number 26 as close as possible. So another thing you can do whenever there's a faster kart in front of you is if you're going through traffic or you're just passing people, you can follow them through the moves. You can let him do all the work. So you can see kart number 26 going on the inside, and I just follow him. And now we've both passed that same person. So kart number 26 doing all the work there, and all I have to do is, stay close enough to where I can follow him through the moves. Now, he's going to pull away from me. He was definitely a lot faster than me, but in that one scenario, he kind of helped me pass, I think that was kart 34 back there, and I didn't lose too much time doing it either. Now, you've probably realized this by now, but I'm not going to be narrating my entire stint. That'd be very silly of me. But I will be posting an unedited version of my stint. So if you want to watch that, it's about an hour, maybe an hour and a half long. Feel free to do that. I'll link it in the description, or click in the top right-hand corner of your screen and check that out if you want to see the entire race. So we skip ahead to about 30 to 40 minutes into my stint here. And we've done 3 out of our 5 pit stops, so we're due for a pit stop. So we thought we'd pit stop right now. I've got open track behind me, so I'll come out in open track. Number 50 spinning it right here, so you don't want to be battling too hard, especially on a lap where you're going to pit, because it just doesn't make sense. So I'm going to pit in on this lap. Very nice having comms. You don't have to worry about pit boards or anything like that. You can just tell someone to pit and they'll pit. So raise my hand, going into the pits here, try and make the pit stop fast, but within the guidelines. Entrance of the pits there, very slippery, almost went off track there. But stop in the stop box right here, come to a complete stop. You can see Oscar here waving his hand, he's the guy in red here. So I unbuckle, hop out of the cart, both feet on the ground, tap Oscar. Oscar hands me my seatbelt, buckle it up, and away I go. So pretty quick pit stop. I didn't watch anyone else to see how ours compared to other people. But stopping in the stop box right here, not coming to a complete stop right there, kind of rolling it, and accidentally coming out in front of these two right here. So I do apologize if I caught these guys off the line. The people going through that first corner right there are going a lot faster than you think, so my bad. But fortunately, the officials must have been sleeping, because they did not penalize me for rolling through the stop box. So getting a little lucky there. Now, we didn't know it at this point, but that was actually our last pit stop of the race. We had stopped 4 times by our calculations, and we had 1 more to go, but I think the officials felt bad that we had to swap karts twice at the beginning, that they decided to give us 1 free pit stop. So we're only having to stop 4 times in this race. I think you lose about 35 to 40 seconds for a pit stop around here. And I think we lost way more than that having to swap karts. So at least we're getting some sort of good luck into this race. So up ahead we can see there's a large group of karts, and in endurance racing you never want to be within a large group of karts because it's just going to slow you down. And so up ahead you can see 2 karts taking each other out. I think one of them locked up the tires and absolutely sent it on someone. So dispatching of those 2 pretty easily. And then going up ahead, you're going to see the most choreographed spin I've ever seen. I mean, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I give it a 10 out of 10. Good stuff. So that group that I was fearing just a couple corners ago, taking each other out within about 2 corners. We passed 4 people instantly, so making light work of that. So that just goes to show you that you don't want to be caught up into large groups because you can get taken out. Even if you are careful, people still love to send it, especially in rental kart racing. So being kind of fortunate that we didn't get caught up in any of that. But going out of this right-hander right here, kart number 31, I don't think that was the best kart in the world. As I drove by it, listening to it, it didn't sound very healthy, so I feel bad for whoever was in that kart. So going down this little straight right here, we're about to end this lap, start the next lap. We're about to go through the last corner here. And I'm about to do something that you should not attempt at home. This is a pro move only. So going through this first left-hander right here, I turn in a little too early, accidentally slaughter that curbing right there. And the GoPro doesn't show it very well, but I got about 4 or 5 inches off the ground. And fortunately, Oscar was there to record it.
Yeah, don't do that again.
So Oscar, team captain, mentor, coach, and cameraman, jack of all trades if you will, dishing out some words of wisdom right there. So I did not do it again, but I will say it was for the content, so there's my excuse. So towards the end of the race, not a lot happened. Gaps were starting to form, and as soon as I passed these two, I got into no man's land, which in an endurance setting is really good. You want to be by yourself, setting those qualifying lap times and just not being held up by anyone. So once I passed these two, not a lot happened. As you can see, there's open track in front of me, and my GoPro eventually died. All right, just finished my stint. Finished P8, I think. I was a hour-and-a-half stint, so you can see I'm really dusty. There's so much dust being kicked up on track. But my face is all covered in shit. I need to go wash up. But yeah, that was exhausting. But happy with that. You know, we dropped down at the end and then clawed our way back up. I think if we had like a couple, like maybe 20 or 30 more minutes left, I think P5 would have definitely been doable. So there we go. That's all I have for today. If you liked the video, please consider subscribing. If you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, please do comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.